official first non-job related interview, by the way.
Love it. Love it. Hi, guys. Welcome back to another edition of My Lagos Living. And today I have with me Musman. Please, could you welcome us in your language?
I actually forgot I was speaking English, man. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, guys, wherever you are in the world. I hope you sit back and enjoy this episode. So, I'm just going to go right straight in. As we all know from the title of this series, today's edition is about friendship, faith, and running. So, Musman, have you always been a Christian?
Yeah.
You have? Cool. Okay. Who prays more, your mom or your dad?
Oh man, most times it's the females. My mom.
Yeah, mom.
I think I actually know when my dad switched and became more serious with his faith. So growing up, my mom is late now, rest her. So my mom was Catholic.
Okay.
My dad is Anglican. He used to go to church.
Okay.
When he would drive us to church, we did everything in Catholic church. So baptism, Thanksgiving, harvest. He was active in our programs, but he didn't go to church on his own. He just came for the programs. I think it was when he lost his mom. I think something gave way. He took going to church more seriously. He was going to Anglican church, but he took it more seriously. So till today, he's been more active with his faith now.
Nice. So your dad, all the activities that he was attending, was it in the Catholic church or in the Anglican church?
For us, Catholic.
In the Catholic church. Okay. Were you curious about your dad's faith, why he didn't go to church? Did you ask questions, or you didn't think as a child then you didn't think it was necessary, or you were just going along with the whole
When we were
thing?
younger, then we didn't take things too seriously, so
Okay.
it wasn't a thought that really crossed my mind. So I wasn't bothered about it. But it was when it switched, I was like, okay, this is a big, but it was really obvious to all of us. This was a big change in my dad.
Okay. What was growing up like in a Christian home?
Well, my mom went to church every Sunday. Of course, as kids, you don't have a choice not to. Went to church every Sunday. She made sure we prayed together at night. And the mornings not so much. But in the mornings was typically when we wake up at different times.
Okay.
It's when we were in secondary school and older. Primary school was more or less the same time, but secondary school, I'm the first, so I went to boarding school first. At some point from secondary school, we're all not at home together as a family. It was typically during like Christmas, Easter, we're all at home. So it was pretty interesting. Prayed together mostly at night. Went to church on Sundays. Went to church for like special programs like retreats and stuff like that. Then when I got a little bit older, I started going for catechism classes and I had to receive First Holy Communion. Interesting thing happened with me. I think I started my catechism classes, then I got admission into uni, so I didn't finish it. So I couldn't receive communion with my peers and all that. Then when I was in uni, like probably second year or third year, continued catechism classes in uni. But it was weird because I was much older. You see, we come here like primary, secondary school. Now I was in uni, I was like 18, 20, but went for a couple of my friends to visit. I'm like, hey, at this old age, going for this stuff. Well, yeah, I did it, finished it, then came back to Lagos, then received my first Holy Communion in Lagos.
Interesting. Were you baptized as an infant or as an adult?
Infant.
As an infant.
How I know was when I was planning to get married, I got married in Catholic church, obviously. You have to bring all those documents and all that. So I always had my baptismal card. It was in the Anglican church.
Okay.
Which was interesting. It was an Anglican church. So my uncle was like, I'm not sure we're going to accept this and all that. But because I had already done my Holy Communion and confirmation in the Catholic church,
right,
they must have checked at some point way back then. So he just confirmed from records I actually received Holy Communion and confirmation in the Catholic. Like, okay, so we'll accept it. But it was actually in the Anglican church.
Do you think kids, just because you said you were baptized as an infant, and you only started attending catechism class as an adult, do you think parents should baptize their kids as an infant or wait till they are much older to a reasonable age for them to know what exactly they're doing?
I think if when parents can baptize their kids as infant, because and what's baptism really all about? Really, it's really bringing the person into the Christian faith and letting the person get to understand that yes, as kids, we may not fully understand that, but there will be that subconscious awareness that something happened, and your parents will remind you as you keep growing up. It just helps to us remove all those things of original sin and all that we have in ourselves and everything. So I think it really helps to baptize the kids as infants. The other key part is parents need to also play their roles in nurturing their kids and bringing them up in the right manner so that they don't lose all those Christian values. Many times parents just do things because it's the norm. So go to school, do this, do that, but they don't teach them the reasons behind all those things. So the kids go through all those processes, but they don't see the value in them.
Right. So, what if the parent brings up the child in a Christian way but still did not baptize the child as an infant? Do you think there's still a significant purpose to that or no?
So not baptized at different, but a child gets baptized when he or she is old.
Older.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all right. It can happen. So fun fact. So I think my mom told this to me. So
Okay.
my mom was a devout Catholic and all, and she said my dad is Anglican, like I mentioned earlier. When they were applying to get married, the agreement was to get married in the Catholic Church.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. They got married in the Anglican Church. I don't know what happened. And as an adult, going to church with my mom, like secondary school, university, and all that, my mom never received communion. And it was because she didn't get married in the Catholic Church. I was probably like between second year or fourth year in uni. That's when my parents now married again in the Catholic Church. It was at that point she was officially inducted back into the Catholic faith and she could now receive communion. So my point really is, yes, it was done late, but someone saw the value in this, did it, and it continued from there. So many times better late than never.
That's actually an interesting story because um, most people will be like, you've already gotten married in the Anglican church. Why go back to the Catholic church and get married again? Of course, before you get married in the Catholic church, or let's just focus on the Catholic church, you get to attend a marriage class and all that, right? So she not receiving in the Catholic church. I can't even start imagining what she was going through, to be honest. So yeah, moving on. Can you please describe your faith journey as an adult?
As an adult, I've had my ups and downs. So I'll say generally, so growing up as a regular guy, I didn't do many of the so-called bad things guys did growing up. I didn't do many of those.
Spill the tea. After answering the question, you have to spill the tea. Spill the tea, please.
So I didn't do a lot of all those things and all, but I still found there are times where you just have some personal crisis and all that. I remember this first time when I was in university, I think in my third year, I just felt lots of stuff were going on. I can't pinpoint exactly what they were, but I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to church again. I'm not doing any of this. I didn't see the value or the essence in going through any of all those things. And I think I went through that phase for probably like maybe 2. It wasn't that long.
Okay.
But I had a chat with a friend of mine, and there was an advice he gave to me, and since that day it stuck with me. He was like, no matter what we go through in life, we should never cut ourselves off from the source of life, which is God. No matter what we are going through, no matter how good or bad it is, because once we cut ourselves from God, things which you are struggling with, you unconsciously start normalizing them. They don't look that bad anymore. They become normal to you, and over time, you start doing those things and you lose that sense of guilt.
Right.
But it's always good when you go through all your challenges, get back to God, try and make peace with God and all that, so that it guides and helps your moral compass to always be on a high level and keep pointing in the right direction. After my friend spoke to me that I told myself, you know what? No matter whatever I'm going through in life or any stage in my life, minimum I'm going to always do is go to church every Sunday. And I've stuck with it more or less since then. Few times I may miss going to church on Sundays, probably if, say, I'm traveling that day or I'm at work, something major. It's rare for me to just say, I'm not going to church because I'm tired. Nah, it's rare.
Okay. What has your experience been like going to church?
Some days are better than others. Some days it's like, yeah, it's just routine. Some days you come to church and something just hits you. Either one of the Bible readings or the preaching from the priest. Sometimes actually the hymns, the singing, just something just hits you and it just helps to just guide you to the right path, or you are going through something and something I said in the church just connects with, like, that whole experience was specific to you because of what you are going through at that moment in time and all. So yeah, generally some are just regular stuff. Other times you feel something really special from it and all that. What I've actually tried to do in my life, at least in the last few years, is while I'm going to church, try and find more time to, study the word of God, read stuff, listen to stuff. So you don't just limit yourself to going to church once a week.
Okay, that's good. Talking about the Bible, because you just brought up the Bible, studying the Bible. What is your coolest story from the Bible or your favorite story? You might have a few, but just give us one.
I know one. This one is clear because I experienced when I was in final year university. So let me give my university background.
Okay.
So I entered university 1997, graduated 2002, studied electrical engineering, graduated from UNN.
Okay.
And I think probably other than my first year, I'm a pseudo unserious student. I'll explain what I mean.
Okay.
So from second year, I always went for all my lectures. Attended all my lectures, did all the assignments and all that. I never studied. I never studied till maybe a month to the exams. So I always wait for when the timetable comes out.
Okay.
The first exam I'm going to write, I'll start studying that course first. So the timetable guided me on what course I started to read for first. And then from second year university, miraculously, just by sheer miracle, we always had ASU strikes every semester in school. Now, one of those that always prayed for those ASU strikes. So when the strikes happen, we spend at least 3 weeks a month at home, and I use that prayer and just read.
Wow.
Come back from my exams, write my exam and pass all of them. And that's how I went through this from second year to fourth year. Final year, second semester, final year, we're preparing for exams, and so many things that happened. As usual, same pattern. I haven't been studying, I've gone for lectures, but I haven't been studying and all that. And the exams were coming, like, God, please help me. What is all this? What is all this? I think I went for a retreat. So there was this monastery in town. I can't remember the name. I went for a retreat there and all that. And in the course of the retreat, one verse stuck with me, Philipians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and I held on to it. Because at that point, there was no hope. I didn't see any hope anywhere. And I held on to it tight. And that verse has stuck with me till today. And long story short, we had some disruptions. In fact, on the day of our first exam, before we were able to write the exam, our exams were suspended for about, I think, 2 months or so. As usual, I was happy, used that period, wrote my exam, and passed. But that verse hits me.
That's an interesting story. So you talked about miracle, you passing your exam, that being a miracle. You don't think it's because you did put the effort in studying? Like, it sounds like you had your own reading pattern. So don't you think it was because you put in the effort to study?
Yeah, I agree that I put in effort, but I put in the effort late. So what
Okay.
helped me was I went for my lectures.
Okay.
So minimum, I did that. I did all the assignments. I don't know why I had that habit. It was just weird.
Okay.
My friends used to tell me it's because you are smart, but I do not advise anybody to do that. That's not the best way to
He's
study.
just being polite.
Please don't do that.
He's an efiko. Nigerians understand what efiko means. For the Westerners, it means he's a nerd. Take it or leave it, children. Just take it or leave it. Yes. Yes.
Because many people won't be able to study under pressure. Because
Sure.
this within 1-2 months, understand what you are studying. You're going to go and write an exam and pass those courses. It takes some sort of discipline and resilience to be able to do that. So I think I did my bit, and God's grace came and took care of the rest for me.
I like it. So before we move on to the next question, please can you spill the tea on those bad things that your species
Now,
they do
after
in
the
school?
interview.
Ah,
After the interview.
in your opinion, your personal opinion, do you think it is necessary to go to church?
Um, as a Christian, yes. Or someone who thinks he or she is a Christian, I'll say yes. Maybe not, depending on your peculiarities, maybe not every week, but if you actually believe in God, you say you're a Christian, I don't see why you shouldn't go to church. Especially now that, thanks to COVID has made things a lot easier. You can do stuff online.
You literally just took that out of my mouth.
Yeah. I don't see why one won't go to church. And because it's not everybody enjoys it and agrees. Sometimes it can be. And if you're going as with a family, it's a whole lot of effort to get everybody prepared, kids
Right.
and all that. Do that drive, depending on how far your church is from where you live and all. But I think you should go to a place with something that you believe in and you feel there's some value in it. Even if it's once a month or something, do that. If it's weekly, even better.
Nice. Okay. As a believer, are you curious about your faith in finding God in a different way from what you're being told in church?
Life has a way of making us to reflect on our lives, on ourselves, irrespective of wherever you see yourself in life.
Right.
I mean, no matter how comfortable one person, someone thinks he or she is, nothing is perfect in your life. There will be stuff which will be bugging, which people may not be aware of, but you in your quiet moments,
Yes.
you will know about those moments. And I think that's where God comes, and that's where you sit there and reflect and you just realize what's the essence of this whole life. To be honest, I've had that thought going through my mind countless times, especially in the last 1-2 years. It's like, what's the essence of life? I mean, at our level in life now, you work, you make money, whether you make a lot or you make small, you're making money, you're going through that grind on a daily basis, and you're like, what's next? You want to like move to a new apartment, buy a house, buy a car, relocate from the country. Whatever those things are, they're not necessarily bad in themselves, but what I've realized, even when you achieve those things, those dreams that you have, you still find there's this vacuum. There's this vacuum in our hearts that you're like, physical things can't fill it up. Physical things, worldly things can't fill that vacuum in our hearts. And in the end, it all boils down to the point is we have to connect ourselves back to God. And that's the way we can get true happiness, true contentment, true satisfaction in connecting ourselves to God. And it doesn't matter how comfortable you are, or if you have so much challenges, that's when you find be able to find true peace. However, you see some people, and when you see or hear what they are going through, be shocked as to how they can still be happy, smiling, and cheerful. It's because they have that strong belief in God that God's going to take care of them, irrespective of what they are going through. They don't know how or when,
Yes.
but they also have that strong faith in that things will get sorted out. So it's a journey, it's an experience. I think we should all always have those moments, always reflect and connect back with God. There are so much distractions in our lives now, so much distractions. No thanks to our phones and internet now, it's just constant churn of things and all that. So like me, I don't know if I've told you before, I'm not on social media. I'm only on Facebook, WhatsApp, that's it.
Don't you think WhatsApp and Facebook is still social media?
Oh, my friends tell me WhatsApp is not social media, it's a communication tool. That's what my friends tell me.
This gist on WhatsApp being social media or not being social media, the gist is long, but I still feel like yes, it's a means of communication, but I still feel like it's social media, because right now you have there's this, just to digress. So Meta, owners of WhatsApp and the rest, they've done this thing where you can follow channels on WhatsApp.
Okay.
So if WhatsApp is a communication means, why should I be following somebody that I'm already following on Instagram? Do you understand what I mean? So they're not making it as, or leaving it the way it's supposed to be, being private communication channel. Like Facebook before, you're looking for some lost friend or auntie, oh, if I go on Facebook, if I type this name 3 times in different format, I would definitely find different people, or probably still find that person you're looking for, right? So yes and no, WhatsApp and Facebook being social media. In this time and age, it's social media. In 1999.
None of them existed. That's how the world has changed.
Exactly. So yeah, it's an interesting time we live in. Just to take you back to what you were saying before about our faith and being curious. You said something about vacuum. Why do you think most people experience that vacuum? And do you think it takes a conscious person to connect back to God, the source?
Some people may not actually experience the vacuum because their lives are so occupied with stuff, they are so busy. Whether it's value stuff or non-value stuff they are doing, they are busy. And that's why I made reference to social media earlier on. So they are busy watching stuff, going out, talking with people, looking at stuff on your phone. So you get yourself occupied. So you don't have all those moments to actually reflect or think about stuff. Even with the very, very little free time the person has, it's so short. You just think about it for a short while. Something comes in, fills up that space, you forget about it and you move on. Until you have a major shock in your life, like maybe somebody dies or you're ill, something that just helps to slow you down. Is then you now connect back to that vacuum, and then the other end of it is there's that gap, but you won't know what you need to fill it up.
Right.
That's the other angle to it. Some people may know something's missing in their life, but they can't connect the dots and say it's connecting back to God.
I agree with that because especially now everybody is too distracted and most people don't pay attention. Some people are not even aware of themselves to even experience their own self. So it's more like they're experiencing their self through someone else's eyes. Instead of looking within and be like, okay, I know I have done a lot of crap. I need to take steps back, reflect, and see how I can be better and move forward. And talking about, just based on this conversation, looking back and see, okay, am I drawing back, like away from God, or am I doing things that is helping me to form a bond and a relationship with God? So yeah, I agree with you. It takes a conscious person to know when that thing is happening. And like you said, most people don't even know what it is, but they know something. Like you can't place your hand on it, and until something tough happens, you're like, oh my God, okay. And it usually takes death or some bad news for somebody to look back and be like, oh, I think I need to chill a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
What values do you hold in friendship, and which of these values are most important to you?
Ah, so for me to be close with somebody, they have to be comfortable with you. That's a given. But one thing I always cherish in my close friendships is integrity. Person should have integrity such that we're talking, we're interacting. I'm not having any second thoughts or doubts like this person is trying to cheat me, deceive me, steal something from me, stuff like that. I mean, when I was young, my friends always told me I had a very straight mind. It was something is black and white, and I just saw everybody as inherently good, which in reality is not the case, especially in a country like Nigeria. You're like, guy, Chinedu, you need to realize that because you are talking to people and smiling and they're smiling, that doesn't mean they like you. They are smiling, but they have malicious intentions towards you. And I had one experience in which that actually buttressed that point, and it hit me. I'm like, wow, this is really, really true. But integrity is a core value for me in any close friendships I have. I mean, I can sit down and talk with anybody basic once we have a common interest, but because we're interacting for long doesn't mean we're really close friends and all that. But for us to be close friends means we must have integrity. That's one key value.
Right.
I would always look out in my friends. Then you should have some relatively above average moral standard. That's our key thing, my close friends. And none of us is perfect. I'm not
Of
perfect
course.
myself.
Right.
So we all have our weaknesses and all that. So I'm not going to expect I'm not going to put my friendship on a higher standard than I place myself on. But just some relatively above average moral standards where we have respect for people, both male and female, talk with people with courtesy and decency and stuff like that. So those two are key for me. Integrity and moral standards. All the others are typically more of we share the same interests, we bond in certain things and all that. But the first two primary ones are those two for me.
Cool. What frustrates you about friendships?
What frustrates me with friendships? Sometimes quite a lot of work. Sometimes. But I've noticed with really good friendships, two people may be close friends and you don't communicate each other for a year for whatever reason. But once either party establish communication, you more or less just continue from there. You just catch up from where the people have lost contact, maybe
Right.
1 year and all that, just continue from there. But if it's friendship that you are still trying to nurture or build, that's where it's a struggle. Because you must have that constant communication and friendship with us out. You've not developed a strong bond in it yet and all that. Even things like which I don't classify as friendship really. So guy and lady trying to become close friends, maybe they are trying to consider going to relationship and stuff like that. There has to be continuous interaction between both parties. Once that breaks, it affects the friendship.
I agree. I agree. So do you, just like you were just saying, do you think people should define their friendship? So I can say, oh, Musman, you're my friend. We're not being friendly. You're not an acquaintance. Do you think people should define it from the get-go? Because I've noticed I've noticed that most people just go, oh, this person is my friend. Oh, that's my friend. But how are you friends? Do you understand what I mean? Because this happened to me a while back where I had to sit back and be like, I know so many people. It happened with me going through my phone. It's like, who is this person? I don't even remember. But this person might call me and we'll just hit it off and just keep talking. And automatically, quote and unquote, we're friends. But in reality, we're not friends. So do you think people should define their friendship from the get-go and not be shy to talk about it?
In an ideal world, I'll say yes, but in reality, it's not that easy to do that because, I mean, as you interact and meet people on a daily basis, you won't just say, okay, I've met this person. Or once you meet someone for the first time, you can't classify that person as a friend.
Okay. So when do you classify someone as a friend?
There has to be, let me just make some actual comments on that. So, I have a few close friends, male and female, that literally the first time we met, we bonded for some weird reason. We just bonded, we hit it off, and we just kept talking and talking. And you know there's something special and all that.
Okay.
But those are the exceptions, not the norm.
Yes.
Generally, when you meet people for the first time, you're already acquaintances straight up. Nothing special is required to assess that friendship or relationship. Where it may get a little bit complicated is when you communicate with that person over time, over a period of years. It's a long length of time. So you now ask yourself, is that person on the acquaintance level? Are you really friends? Or sometimes you may not be friends, maybe stuff that brings you guys, maybe it's work. You work in the same place, it makes you guys communicate all the time, and because of your communication, you actually go into personal stuff and all that. Or maybe your hobbies, or maybe church, or maybe basically something you guys do in common.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily mean you guys are friends.
Okay.
Those things you do in common bring you guys together and make you guys to talk and all that. But over time, when you now interact with people, you get to realize who your real friends are. So it will be difficult to say or start telling people because you've been communicating them for a while, hey, we are just this, we are not this. Nah.
Okay.
Maybe mentally in your head, you
already know.
The other person may not know.
Right.
Some person may see you as a close friend. You may not see the person as that. So there may be that break, but you within yourself, you already know where you place lots of people at.
For me, I think the reason why I asked that question is because growing up, everybody, quote unquote, had best friends, right? Some people still do as an adult, and it's beautiful. It's not a bad thing. And I can't remember how old I was, but I had this friend whom I placed in the space of this is my best friend. Like, most people know me, they know I'm a very serious person. But this 2024, I'm not a serious person anymore. I want to be very goofy. So I walked up to her. I can't remember what we're doing, but I remember walking up to this friend of mine and I said to her, oh, you're my best friend. And she's like, no, you're not my best friend. I have a best friend. And I'm like, what do you mean you have a best friend? But we're friends. She's like, yes, you're my friend. You're my good friend, but you're not my best friend. And that has really stuck with me, not in a negative way, but sometimes you just get to a point in your life where some things just start hitting you, not because you intentionally remembered. It's like deja vu. You're like, oh, this has happened before, or I've had this conversation before. So I'm like, I think it would be an interesting thing to ask you if people should actually define it. Because since that day, please, I'm not doing best friend. If you come to me and be like, Immaculate, you're worthy to be my best friend, who am I to say no? But if I need to say no, I will say no, that you're not my best friend. Because experience will teach you that, right? And you don't want to now put yourself or your friend whom you're putting as a best friend in a very uncomfortable position, because it's like you need to live up to that role of bestie, if that makes sense,
I
right?
noticed in the last it's something that has been in my mind for the last 2, 3 years. I guess more so in the last 1 year. The last 1 year, I've had a lot more alone time for obvious reasons. So I thought I'd be able to think about stuff a lot more. I just realized, which is weird, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot. I know quite a lot more of people that I go somewhere, we bump into each other, sit down and gist for like 1, 2 hours with ease. So I can do that with so many people. Go somewhere, like go for a party, a wedding, an event, meet friends, and we all sit down, we gist for a long time, but it doesn't mean we're friends. Once I
Yeah,
leave that place, we're not communicating with each other.
true.
Maybe when next time we see and all that, that hits me hard. I don't have a lot of friends. Second thing that hit me was amongst people I'll call friends, I had more females in that bucket than males, than guys.
That's
Those,
interesting.
those two things hit me. I was like, wow. But sometimes I sit down, I'm like, who are my friends? I mean, write a list of my friends. I'm like, now that I mean, I have to think hard. Yeah, this person, my friend. Yeah. I mean, I don't have issues with the person, but we don't communicate. We don't communicate. I've never been to the person's place. The person has never been to my place. There's
Wow.
literally nothing. Other than when we bump into each other by chance or whatever, that's the only time we actually talk.
We connect.
Yeah.
I guess that's one of the things that comes with adulting and self-reflection and being conscious, because self-reflection helps you to see things that you normally would just overlook.
Yeah.
And when you now start paying attention to it and you're like, oh, okay, it hits differently and the message is gotten in a different way. Still talking about friendship, right? How does faith play a vital role in your friendship?
Faith and friendship.
Yes.
Well, obviously, my friends know how to be Christians.
Okay.
It's not what I look out for. I guess for me, the big thing is what I had mentioned earlier. You must be people of integrity and have some relatively above average moral standard. Those are the two key things for me. Other than that, all the other stuff, yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I won't have a friend I'll be telling me, let me give you a good example. My friend will be telling me, I have a friend that is married, and we go somewhere, and he tells me this is his babe, but I know he's married. I'm like, seriously. I mean, none of my friends can tell me that. They know where I stand.
Right.
It's not because we've had a conversation, I've told you this, but just from interactions over time, you know, I won't be okay with that kind of stuff. So you can want to do it if you want to, but don't do it openly and so comfortably
Like
in my
bring
presence.
it, yes. I think some friends know not to bring their nonsense around some friends.
Yeah.
So if this person is already placed on this pedestal and you see that or notice it, automatically they come down here, you know. And again, integrity plays a huge role. And you being a Christian, that person will be like, oh no, just being in Nigeria, be like, this one will pray for my head. Oh. You get what I mean? So yeah, are friends sometimes more important than family? When I mean family, I mean your immediate family. Do you think friends are more important sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, sometimes family is blood. We didn't choose ourselves. We found ourselves there. And some family members may not be that close to your bond as well as you bond with your friends. So sometimes your friends will actually have your back more than some family members. And I'm experiencing it right now, so I know.
Right. Yeah. No further question. No further question. What does your ideal friend weekend look like? Those people that you be like, these are my guys, my guys. What does it look like?
Variety of stuff. It's either, say, one friend is doing something, maybe a birthday, cute stuff, and invite a group of friends, and we'll all just come there, chill, support the person, and just have a good time. That's one. Sometimes just no specific, just call people over to someone's house, you just go there and chill, or you just Lagos is hectic. Sometimes we go through years, just only WhatsApp partners. Like, okay, guys, you know what? I have to make some effort to see, hang out, unwind. I'll do a hangout somewhere, maybe a beach outing, like love beaches,
Yes.
all those kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I know we've talked about your journey, your faith journey as an adult. When you were experiencing this faith crisis, right? How were you able to resolve it? Did you seek external opinions?
I think for me, that's one I thought about in uni was
Yes.
I had a good friend, thank God. And I think I opened up to him because he probably wouldn't have known if I didn't tell him.
Okay.
He probably wouldn't have known. I had a good friend that opened up to him and he gave me good advice. Some people may not have that good fortune, have that kind of opportunity at that point when they need good guidance. Sometimes people are going through stuff and we don't know what they are going through except they actually clearly tell us and all that. And they may talk with the wrong set of people who may not give them good guidance.
That's true.
So it can be tricky. It can really be tricky. And that's why it's good to surround ourselves with the right type of people so that when the chips are down, you don't get wrong advice from them. Because some people are very, very, I think men put people in two categories. There are a group of people who are very active with church, so when they have any major issues, they are talking with their priest or their pastor. But I don't think majority of people are in that bucket. Majority of people are in the other bucket where things happen. They're either going to their close friends or family. And if in that bucket of close friends or family, without the right kind of people in there, you may not get the best advice you need. You probably get some support. Oh, don't worry, we're here with you and all that. But they're just telling they're there with you. They have your back, what you are going through. But other than that, they are not directing you back to God and all that. So it can be tricky sometimes. It can be tricky sometimes. But I wish people would get to the point where we all realize that when we have those quiet moments and identify those vacuums in our life, realize the sign of calling our names back to God.
Back to God.
That would be really helpful.
It's very important to try to find our way back to God because it gives you peace, it gives you more clarity. Do you ever worry about losing your friends?
I was telling a friend 2 days ago that a lot of people say this, but just the way I'm wired. As I have close friends, little things, people that I just X them. And she was like, what's wrong? Why are you be Xing people? It's like, well, it's the way I am. So I'm a chilled, patient kind of guy. I can take a whole load of crap from random people and from friends as well. But there are certain things people do, and I'm not referring to friends is a stranger. There's nothing to X now. We're not even close to start with.
Right.
There are certain things friends, the people I call or classify as close friends do. And when those things are done, I just X you and things won't be the same again between us. I mean, if I say we'll still talk, we'll still interact, but over time you notice there's this difference. We're not as bonded as we used to be back in the days and all that. And it's more or less on when someone like outrightly lies to me, like not a minor lie. We all lie one time or other, but like
Yes.
some major lie or deceives me or cheats me, those things tick me off. Right? Those things they get to my core and like it annoys me people do those things. And that's what one thing that frustrates me in the Nigerian content. You see it everywhere.
Right.
Everybody is doing, but most times people you don't know, it's just business and all that. But when it's now your close friend that is doing that to you,
Yeah.
so that once a close friend does that, I'm done.
It hits differently, especially when that person is actually someone you hold dear.
Exactly.
And this is not to say that you're going to be in that friendship without making mistakes. But if you know your friends, your true friends, there's some nonsense you don't even do. Like go and do it with another of your friends, because we all have different people we interact with, just to buttress what you're saying. And it hurts. But I've come to realize that some people don't even see it like that. They just feel like you're overreacting or you're acting holier than thou. So I'll give you a personal experience. I think it was in my early 20s. That's when I was trying to find God in my own way. Like I'll go to church, I'll be involved in stuff. If it's not church, it's work. That's the only two. And my work is entertainment, right? So if I'm not going to one church activity, is entertainment. And this supposed friend back then just came and said to me, "Oh, her mother this," and I was like, "Oh, sorry, I don't," like I wasn't in a position to help. But apparently she was lying, and this is a friendship, at least in my own head. Not to say that I didn't have my faults in that friendship, right? I was trying to put together and be like, okay, how can I be a better friend to this person? And how can I see her from the point where she's coming? But deep down, I just knew that it was going to be a long road. So when that whole nonsense played out, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, it's just a big X. So it's not, that's why when you said it, I can understand that. Like, you're done. But it doesn't mean if I see that person tomorrow, I won't be cordial with the person.
Yep.
I'll be cordial with the person. And for all you like, you can judge me from 2016 or 1988. Me, I don't care. We're in 2024. You get what I mean? So it's not that serious. But back then, when we were interacting, it was serious because you're my friend. I wouldn't expect you to be doing all that. But that also doesn't go to show that you're not also changing to a better version of yourself. So it takes a lot. Friendship is two ways. It's not just one-sided.
Back to that last comment you made. So
Okay.
I saw my faults. And I think I noticed it more during COVID. 2020, when everyone was at home, the full lockdown, everyone was working from home and all that. But I actually made it a goal to try and be communicating with my friends. I noticed that's a very bad habit. I don't try to communicate with my friends except something is happening, like there's a big event, but just check up on them, not because of anything, just know how they are doing, catch up and all that. It's one area I've never been good at. I told myself during COVID I will improve, but that's improve just a teeny weeny bit. I didn't improve that much. But that all that quiet free time enabled me to realize that fault or weakness in me.
Well, I won't really call it a fault or a weakness. It's just how you are. And it doesn't mean you don't care about that person. So that,
How do people know?
well, people wouldn't know if you don't talk about it like this. Because how many people know that side to you, right? For me, I think I was a bit of a nuisance. I used to call everybody, like,
You called me another.
oh dear God. I was such a nuisance. I was calling everybody. I've always been like that. But I had to take a step back because I got to meet people who don't communicate like me. And it never meant they were bad people. You will still connect back to that person. It just means that person is not like you. Just because you're an introvert does not mean that person introvertedness is not on a different level. You get what I mean? So when I started reevaluating myself and my friendships, I took a step back. I stopped calling people. But guess what? When I stopped calling, everybody thought I was in trouble because it was so unlike me not to call people, even if it's for the dumbest thing. Like how far? You don't sew that slippers where you say you want sew yesterday. Do you understand what I mean? But again, that shows I'm growing. But I just needed to pipe it down because I had to ask myself, this friend or this person, an acquaintance or just someone I'm friendly with, am I a problem to them? Because your positiveness might actually be a toxic trait to that person. That's something I got to realize and accept. It took a while. So now, instead of me just being all up in your face, for lack of a better word, I'll follow that person at their own pace. It doesn't mean I'm not itching to call the person or just talk to them about random stuff. So you see people, they look at like your star sign, the month you're born in, right? So I'm born in July, and it's one of the traits. But I have a friend who is also a July born. If she's not with her phone looking at her phone like this, sorry, she not will call you. She'll not even like. So it's a mystery, and it's also interesting. It's an interesting mystery for me when it comes to the whole star sign thing or friends not reaching out and all that. I just feel like everybody needs to take a chill pill. If that person comes to mind, you drop them a message or you call them. Some people will be like, why are you calling me? It doesn't mean they're upset with you, but they're just not in that headspace.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not that deep, guys. Really, drop your friend a message. Since we're on our Lagos living episode, there's no way we will not bring or discuss about our Lagos living, right? Now, this is, would you rather do Lagos nightlife with friends or you would go running a marathon?
Lagos nightlife with friends.
Yes.
That'll be an option. That's easy, man.
So you like the whole, even though you're the chill, calm guy, but you still like that Lagos buzz.
No, I grew up I was born in Lagos. I grew up in Lagos. I love Lagos. Lagos is the best state in the country.
You hear that?
Never forget that. Forget all the talk people say about Abuja, Port Harcourt. Nah, they don't compare with Lagos. You can't compare those places to Lagos. Lagos is the bomb.
Yes.
And even for me as a runner, as you know, I've done 2 marathons. Doing a marathon is not something you just do at a wing. You have to prepare, train, be ready mentally for it, and it takes effort. But when you hang out with your friend, you can just plan that, boom, one day, few hours, boom.
And it happened.
And it happened, you're good to go. So yeah, it goes like life, anytime, any day.
Why and how did you get into running?
That's an interesting question. So I started running late 2014. The reason was funny. I just realized, I was like, working in Lagos, my life was lethargic. It was office, home. Yeah, you go out, you hang out, you're always sitting. Anyway, any event you go for, you're always sitting. The only real physical activity you might do is dancing.
So is that why you like the Lagos nightlife with friends?
Why?
Is that why you like the Lagos nightlife with friends?
I just like being with people and hanging out with people and all that. So the only physical activity you do when you go out is dancing. I mean, for being a horrible dancer, I'm not going to dance for that long and all that.
Let me
Say
not say,
it.
no.
I allow you to say it. Feel free. I won't hold it against you. Say it.
Oh God. There is a video of us at at a wedding. I'm sitting there, I don't want to do this, but I will look for it. I'm going to look for that clip or ask someone to send it back to me. You guys, Musman is an amazing dancer. Forget this thing you just said, though. He's an amazing dancer. He dances without care in the world. He just goes like.
Take that with a pinch of salt. Please do. So, my dream, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop my lethargic life. I wanted to do some physical activity.
Okay.
I always wanted to play tennis. I went and registered in a club. I started learning how to play tennis. And of course, because I was not doing any physical activity, I was really out of form. It was just 1 hour, but after 20 minutes, I'm panting and all that. And my coach was like, you know what? I need to build my stamina. To build my stamina, they recommend I should start jogging, running, and mix that with my tennis and all. I'm like, okay. And back then I joined, a friend told me about Trooper.
Okay.
So I went to install the app, started going for their run. That was once a month. I think it was first or last Saturday in the month, 5K.
Yes.
5K was like, I'm going to die, man. My heart rate was spiking and everything. After like a few months, I started enjoying the run. I never went back to my tennis.
Oh, wow.
And the rest was history.
Oh,
That's how I
wow.
got into running. Yep.
That's interesting. I remember Trooper. I remember
That
Trooper.
was our origins, man.
Yes, I remember Trooper. What do you do when you're not running?
When I'm not running, if I'm at home watching TV, listening to music, if I'm on the road listening to the radio, I'm a radio junkie, by the way.
Okay.
I love radio, man. It's either I'm either listening to music, listening to some programs I follow that I really like and all that, or listening to some. I like listening to conversation when we are discussing a topic, not just reading the news, but discussing stuff and giving us like the behind the scenes information and stuff and all that. I love all those kind of programs. So either listen to the radio, if I'm at home watching TV, listening to music. I'll say reading, but reading is like, because I struggle with reading, as well as like at the bottom of the food chain. When I'm out with friends and all that. Yeah.
As a true Lagosian. So you yes. So you mentioned you were born and raised in Lagos. What was growing up like for you in Lagos?
Growing up was fine. Life was good. We didn't know how good life was back then.
Until you found yourself in the Gen Z era.
and also as when I now became independent, I started working and living on my own. We also that life is a lot tougher. I mean, we grew up, so my parents were both civil servants, and we grew up in Ikoyi most of. So at least I'm the first in my family. So my last two brothers, that's all they knew, Ikoyi, because my parents gave birth to them while we were in Ikoyi. But we lived in first time before we moved to Ikoyi. I have no memories of our first time. I was probably maybe like 4 or 5, like, I don't know. And most of our primary school, when I got my first job, we lived in Ikoyi, grew up there, and it was a nice neighborhood. There was a filling station in front of us here, Ikoyi Club was down here, NEPA was here, Nitel was here, the church was here.
I think I just described it. I think I know. Just before you say, were you living off Kingsway Road?
Yes.
Was it called Kingsway back there?
Kingsway back then.
But now Alfred Iwani. Okay, I think so NNPC, you're not too far from NNPC. That's where you grew up around. Yes.
So you know where Ikoyi Club is?
Yes.
That was the street we lived.
Right. NNPC is on that street, just
exactly.
Right. Okay.
And I don't know if you remember, I can't remember what this was, probably like 2005. I can't remember when NNPC building burnt.
I don't have so much memory of it.
Our house was just opposite. So,
oh wow.
So the NNPC filling station now on the Club Road used to be a Texaco filling station back then. So it was a Texaco filling station. The NNPC building was here. Then from the next building to the end was all the Ikoyi Club. This was the
Ah,
NNPC building. Our house was just across the street, directly opposite
I
it.
think I remember the Texaco
Yeah.
because my mom's auntie lived somewhere in Ikoyi, and they shared a building with Texaco.
Yeah.
The Texaco I'm talking about is the one on Bodilon.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
That's the one. So, and I remember Texaco on Kingsway Road, but I don't really have so much memory of it. But I have more memory of the NNPC that is there right now.
So when I mentioned there was one Sunday night, we were watching Newsline, and my youngest brother was outside at the balcony. Just used to just go out, just stay, get fresh air, look at cars driving past, and he tells my other brother, "Hey, I'm seeing a yellow light, one of those offices. Looks like fire." Bro, like, serious, that
Wow.
cannot be fire. Maybe it was actually fire. The fire started from that office was probably,
Oh
the
wow.
building was probably maybe like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 floors, I can't remember. It was probably like the middle floors, like fifth or sixth floor. So we saw it, but just like a candle light. After it got bigger, we're like, okay, that's actually a fire. We started shouting fire, fire. Told my dad, and dad came out, called one of his friends in news agency of Nigeria and all that. And within the next 30 minutes, when everything was all hell broke loose.
Oh
Fire
wow.
got big, spread across the floor, came down
Oh
some floors down,
wow.
up. Fire service came, news crews came, and we literally saw the whole building burn down right before our eyes.
As a young child, that would have been so traumatic.
That was shocking. And the fire truck guys, give it to them, they came in early, but fire was on the high level. They didn't have all the equipment. They didn't have the equipment to combat the fire there and all that. But going back to your original question, growing up back then, life was easy, it was good. My parents were not like wealthy, we were more of maybe middle class.
You were comfortable.
Yeah, we had basic stuff we needed, so we were fine. Life was okay. I can't complain too much. I mean, my parents were able to pay our school fees all the time we were in school. We were never kicked out from school. Dad gave us enough pocket money when we were in uni and all. Life was good until I graduated from uni. I spent 3 months at home waiting before I got my first job, which in Nigeria's terms is child's play. But those 3 months were like, hell. I was like, 3 months where there's no clarity as to when you get a job, when you start and all that stuff. I kept telling my mom, because my dad worked in Abuja, so he was in Abuja most of the time. My mom was always in Lagos. Wake up in the morning, I just like clueless, there's nothing to do. Kept telling my mom this, that, and I just felt uncomfortable asking my mom for stipends and all that. Once in a while, she understands, she'll give me stuff and all. I have some close friends of mine, my set guys in uni. Right from when we finished uni, they already have gotten jobs with an IT company in Lagos, and they sort of got their youth service to be posted. They got to be posted to Lagos, so they did their youth service with the company and continued from there. So it was almost like a hub for all my set guys, engineering guys in school. We just come there around 4 5 p.m. when they are done with work, gist with them. All of us, most of us were still looking for jobs because our peers were already working and all. It was pretty cool. One of the days I told one of the guys, man, spoke to me with confidence that, man, guy, it's tough and all that. Okay, let's go hang out. Took me to Chocolate Royale. I don't know if you remember Chocolate Royale.
Yes, it's me young.
Chocolate Royale was the bomb back then, man. It was the bomb.
It's me young Christian.
Yes, so took me there, we hung out there. I mean, they probably gave me like maybe 3K or 5K.
And that
How much
year,
I cherished it.
oh yeah.
From my own mates, it was like, wow. Great friend, man. Pretty great friend. Until I got my first job and started working on my own, living on my house, or the real hardship of Nigeria. But the other good thing growing up in Korea, we didn't have power issues like we have now. We never had a generator all our lives.
Oh wow.
Never, not once, never had a generator until when my folks moved to Surulere in 2006, and then Nigeria hit us. Well, to be honest, That always been like that, just that whatever experienced it, we started to experience it. But overall, growing up was fine. It's decent. I can't compare. I'll just be grateful.
Right. So when you moved to Sulere, what was that experience like for you?
First of all, I don't like moving houses. That was that was the first real move. That was the first move I've experienced in my life, and as a family we had had because I lived in Ukraine from the 80s to 2000. That was like easily over 30 years.
Right.
And my first job, I wasn't working in Lagos. I was working in East Aba.
Okay.
I came to Lagos on leave. I think I had like a 2 weeks leave when my parents were all packing stuff. And because we lived there for so long, we had tons and tons of stuff. And I just packed. I just told myself, you know what? I'm not going to be here for this. So a day before they moved, I just went back. I resumed work.
Oh my
I'm not doing
God.
this. I ran away. So I told I moved houses in
Yes.
December. And that was hectic. It was hectic. When I called my youngest brother, he's not in the country, he's in the UK, and I told him, I was like, Chinedu, he's still traumatized from that Equate Sule move of 2006 till now.
No way.
But he was around, he expressed the
Oh
same
my
move. Said he's
God.
still traumatized by it. It's hectic.
House hunting in Lagos, Nigeria is not the easiest of things.
No, it's not.
And especially if you're in a very calm environment where nobody is giving you bad buzz, you know. Only Lagos people understand what I just said.
Oh man, you don't understand.
No, you just can't. But once you find a place you love, please be nice to your landlord. Be nice to your landlord. Starting, no, like Muslim, you agree with me. Starting from your agent, be nice to those people because you will need them
Big
again.
time. Big
If
time.
you like live in that property for like 6 years, 7, 15 years, be nice to these people. They are your number one intel. Take it from people that have house hunted before in this Lagos.
Yeah, totally agree with you.
Going back to running conversation, do you think people should at least pick up running, or the trekking we do in this Lagos is enough?
As a minimum, I think people should walk as a minimum.
Okay.
It's a very, very good and easy form of exercise. And it also has this little therapeutic element to it. It helps to just clear your head, especially when you lose all the stress and everything. It enables you to be able to think and actually helps you to remember stuff.
Yes.
So I think as anyone should walk.
Yes.
Especially people who live lethargic lifestyles, who own cars and drive. Most times those people won't walk consciously. Even if they're occupied just like a 5-10 minute walk from you park somewhere and walking from here to where you're going to, that's not walking. Walking is when you make a conscious effort to at least 30 minutes. Walking from here to there. I think we should do that as a minimum. It helps. Yeah, people complain about the other issues like Lagos is messed up. We all know that. But you don't appreciate until you go to another state.
Oh yes, let's not even start with that air. Because even in Ibadan it's calmer. Yes, the air might not be the freshest, but it's good to just go out and experience another city. For me, I like Ibadan. I've never lived in Ibadan before, but I've visited a couple of times, and I feel like Ibadan is calmer, it's slower pace. Nobody is rushing to anywhere. You know, even when an Ibadan man or woman is like upset, you as a Lagos person, you be like, let me fuel it up for you. You get what I mean? So yeah, it's a good habit picking up walking, and when we talk about walking, we don't mean trekking. See, brothers and sisters, Lagos people we trek a lot. Okay, trek. It's good to trek, or if you don't, if if where you're going to is far, and Uber is doing anyhow. You either go back home or you trek. But most times they don't say you should trek. You say you should walk. It's a good form of exercise, and like you said, is it's a meditative practice.
Yeah, it is.
I've had a guest, my first guest on this Lagos series, my Lagos Living series. He talked about how he got into running, and he talked about meditation. And I think when I got into running, I told him, I said, um, it made me start facing things that I normally would not face. Like you just start, things will just start hitting you. Like, oh, okay, so my subconscious actually pushed it to the left side of my brain or the right side of my brain. And I think it's a good time to just face yourself, you know. So it's a good one. What benefits do you get from running?
Running, man. I sweat, that's one. That's the reason why I got into it in the first place. When I wanted to do anything physical.
Okay.
I don't sweat easily, so in my lethargic lifestyle prior to running was the only time I sweat was when you're in the Lagos heat. That's not a good type of sweating. So yeah, makes you to sweat, get your heart pumping, you exercise your body, and
Yes.
you feel really, really good with yourself. And in the process, as you keep getting into, you start setting personal goals for yourself, increasing the distances that you can run, shortening the time it takes to cover certain distances and all that. And for me personally, the ultimate is running a marathon. Like here there are ultra marathons and comrades.
Yes.
My brain has mentally blocked those.
Oh.
I ain't doing any of those, man. Once I've done a marathon, I'm done. I can run a marathon again, but I'm not doing any of those ultra stuff. It ain't happening.
Talking about that, I think the one person that comes to mind is Rosalind. I hope.
Realize she's not a human being. I call her Wonder Woman.
Oh my God.
She's not a human being.
She's an interesting person. I just hope to bring her on my Lagos series. Honestly, like I know she's done a lot of marathons. I don't know how many, and I think she's shared her marathon story, how she started. But she's done comrades, no?
I think she has once. I think.
If you don't know what comrades is, please just Google. Google is your friend. I'm not even going to stress you guys by typing. That lady has done comrades, and she speaks with so much passion. It's like she sleeps and wakes up marathon.
It's crazy, man. She's
Oh,
not
dear.
human. That's all I know.
She's one of the fittest people I have met, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Rosalind, if you're watching this, you're coming on this show. May you for no now. May you not be like I not tell you.
Heads
So heads up, online invite. I'll drag you. Do you have a meal plan or a training routine before you run a marathon? I know you've done 2 marathons, and that's beautiful. Do you have any training routines, meal plans?
So I'm crazy with food. Just weird.
Okay.
I don't eat like like that. I eat twice a day and all that. So training for my marathon, I didn't really have any meal plan per se.
Okay.
Other than the night to the marathon, well, the day to the marathon when I was loaded with carbs and all that, but that's not really a meal plan. So please, that's not a meal plan.
Don't be like him.
But I had a training plan. I used the Nike Run app.
Okay.
So yes, I used Nike Run app. So they have Nike Run app and Nike training. So the training is more of cardio, all those stretches and all that stuff, pre and post the
I
run.
remember that.
Yeah. So the Nike Run plan, I just used it, running a 42-kilometer marathon.
Oh wow.
You ask you a few questions, date you want to run the marathon, longest distance you've done, blah blah blah. By the time you put on it just draws up a plan for you. So that's what I use for my marathon. I ran my first marathon 2020, COVID year, September 2020. And what inspired me to do it, Now that wrong group, Bridge Pacers, there was a lady there. She ran a marathon, I think either that year or the year before, I can't remember. And she just clocked 42. So I was like, crap, that's a good idea. I was 42. I was 42, 2020. Hey, marathon, yeah, I'm training for a marathon.
Nice.
And COVID year was perfect because everybody was home. There were no distractions of weddings, events, parties, and all that stuff. So I was like, okay. So I had this friend, Flash James, he came in. We had promised ourselves like 2 years back to run our first marathon together. So I was in guy. Are you up training for a marathon? So I was like, sure. You sure? You sure? Yes.
These are
Okay.
people that sleep and wake up running.
Well, I love running. So we said, okay. So I set up my training plan. And training plan was 2 runs a week. Long runs, Saturday mornings. Weekday was typically between 6 to 10K. 10K was the longest as on weekdays. Then the third day was just cardio stretches and all that stuff.
Okay.
Did that for like 3 months from like, I started in June, early June to September. And each week, I think my first Saturday run was like 12, 15K, then 18K, 21K, 24, 27. The longest I'd run before my training was like 22, 23K.
Oh, nice.
So by the time I got to 24, I was in uncharted territories. I remember the day we ran 30K. I thought I was going to die. Like by 24K, my body was literally shutting down. I'm like,
Oh,
what the
wow.
heck did you get yourself into? Oh man. And that was the longest run. 30K was my longest run before the marathon. After that, I now tapered down. So I did shorter distances based on the training plan until the D-Day of the 42K. It's a real mental journey. Marathon is not like I just wake up and run, except you run several of it, or you have crazy superhuman mind and you just force your body to just condition to it and all that. But yeah, so that was my journey.
That's beautiful. Before COVID, I think I said to myself, I'm going to run a marathon. I think it was 2018 into 2019. I started talking about it on the group. And I think Kalo mentioned, oh, when I'm ready, we could start with a half mary. I was so excited. 2019 came, I was like, okay, I can do this, because I think the highest I had run was a 10K. 5K was just beans.
Yeah, 5K was easy.
10K, I was like, yeah, I can do this, I'll just run a 10K. But I was like, I can do a full marathon. But let me start with a half mary. Then COVID happened, it was just lockdown. And I just went back to that mindset of, when it happens, it happens. And after COVID, I don't think I actively ran. And I think the last time I ran was in 2022.
2 years.
Yes, it was in 2022, and I ran with you.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was my last run.
For real?
Yes, that was my return run and my last run.
Wow.
And I remember it was a 12K-ish.
Yeah.
Most man just kept pacing me. I have run with 2 other people that are like crazy. I have paced Moyiwa before.
Moyiwa is a beast.
I don't know what I was thinking. I paced Moyiwa. Then he noticed I was pacing him on body lawn. I was like, okay, let me just make it easy for you. Then he slowed down. For Moyiwa to do that, then I think I paced Otumba one time. Then he slowed down. It was beautiful. And when we talked about it on the good, they're like, what were you thinking? Like, these 2 people are those you should not even think of pacing. But for me, I think it's the fun of it, because I see them running, I'm like, they're running at my pace. But when I try running side by side, I was like, no, they're actually on a different level. They're actually going fast, and that's the beauty of running. And for me, I think it's that adrenaline rush, the sweat, the excitement of, I know that once I get home, I have a good shower, I will just sleep or just get into that headspace of, oh dear Lord, thank you for today.
You know this. When was it? singular event that sustained me through COVID 2020, 2021. I mean, the lockdown started March. And initially, everybody was excited, okay, you don't have to go to work, you can
Yes.
work from home and all that. The first 2 months, I enjoyed. By the third month, I was, you could feel that your
Yes.
body is shaking. You're
Yes.
like, I need to go out, but you couldn't go out and all that. That's when the marathon idea popped into my head. I called Flash, I agreed. And it was around that, by May, they had eased up movements in Lagos, so people could go out, but I think there was lockdown by 6 p.m. or 10 p.m.
Even Nigerians no gree. They started this no good for anybody since
Because
lockdown.
it wasn't official.
Exactly.
So I know the crew, the run could they start running on Saturday. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me start my training. When I started my training, I did not miss any Saturday run, not one. Every
Wow.
weekend till my marathon.
Oh
It
wow.
was like my high point every week. From Sunday, I'm looking forward to Saturday. From Sunday, I'm looking forward to Saturday. Because that was the one time in the week I know I'll see friends. Because after a run, we just for like 15,
Yes.
20 minutes,
Yes.
just chit chat. Everybody goes to their various places. It was my high point. Then around July, August, somebody, I said, why don't just go and get coffee or a drink somewhere after the runs, like maybe once or twice in a month. So after I'll just go somewhere, maybe orbit or so, chill, buy a drink, coffee, smoothie, talk for 1 2 hours, and everybody goes home. Man, it was like heaven, it was like bliss.
I think that's one of the beauties of being a member of the Run Crew. So if you're watching this, wherever you are in the world, and if you're also in Lagos, Nigeria, or in some parts of Nigeria, and you happen to find yourself in Lagos and you'd like to run, you've never run before, if you're a runner and you'd like to join a running community here in Lagos, number one, the coolest run crew in Nigeria. In fact, we're taking Africa home. Don't joke with us. Look us up on Instagram at the Run Crew NG. I'll put up the IG link on the description box. So yeah, looking for that community of runners, professionals from different walks of life. Look, guys, we're so cool and fun. We don't want to miss. So yeah,
Better experience. Than
exactly. Better experience than heard. So it's been an interesting chat about your childhood, your running experience, and I'm going to take you back to Nigeria. I hear that as Nigerians, we're very religious people. Do you think we take it to the extreme?
I'm very religious people, I agree, that's true. The sad part, we are religious, but it doesn't reflect in the core of we as a people, because if we took all our religious views and we practice as we should, our country would be a better place and would be a more patient and less crappy set of people. And the reason why I say that, I'm not even talking about our leaders, I'm talking of average Nigerians, the normal day-to-day interactions. Driving, for instance, I drive every day. Driving is crazy. People are always impatient, honking like mad. But the honking ticks me off. I'm generally a calm dude, but honking literally brings in road rage into me. I'm like, why
Yes.
are you honking? What is the rationale behind that? So when people honk at me, I just freeze. I just keep going straight. So when a friend sees my honking at me, because I've done it for like 5 minutes straight.
For you too.
Before I'll turn and look at you, but yeah. I wish we applied all these things to our personal lives. We'd be more calmer, more tolerant, more accommodating, but not that. Sundays you go to church, you see a long line of cars, people and all that, but it doesn't come back to how we live our personal lives.
True.
Sadly.
True. Yeah, sad but true. How can this generation of young people build better friendships?
It's actually a lot tougher for them, sadly too. Because of social media again. A lot of people spend more time on their phones, tablets, screens basically, and That's not how you build friendships. You can use social media and all that to find friendships, but to nurture friendships, to grow those friendships, you need to have real deep conversations. And yeah, video calling helps, but trust me, it's not the same thing as face to face interaction and all that. And we saw it during the COVID period where Zoom became so popular with conference meetings and all that. It had its value, it had its place, but we still knew there were gaps with that because nothing beats face to face meetings, face to face interactions. And it's the same way with building friendship and getting to know people. You need to have all those face to face interactions because talking with people, if there's no video or if you can't see the person, you don't get the full expressions
Yes.
of people.
Yes.
You hear the words, you hear the tone, but the movement on their faces, the way they move their mouth, their
Yes.
eyes, their arms, it gives the full message and all that. But you lose all those things. So with this younger generation, it's a lot tougher for them, except they make a very, very conscious effort to build all those friendships and all that.
So Gen Zs, you need to make conscious effort to have a sustainable friendship.
Yeah. On the flip side, for the Gen Zs, when they have good friendships, all these new technologies and all that helps to strengthen the friendships for them. So it may not make it easier for them to make those friendships, but when those friendships are, they help to just nourish it and enables easier communication and all that. When we were younger, there was almost no internet. In fact, the options were physical interaction because other than that, how did you get to see other people? It was either writing letters, posting letters. You call by hand phones back then. There was very few people.
Nitel had their posts on the road,
Yeah.
or you just show up in front of the person's
I
house.
hope they are home.
Yes, and hope they are home. As a Christian, do you think sometimes there's something wrong with religion?
I won't say there's anything wrong with religion, but it's just we are human beings, and as human beings, anything we do, because we are a flawed being, our imperfections will reflect in whatever we do. Our religion is no exception. So you won't say because someone is a priest or a pastor or an imam or whatever he or she does is going to be perfect or flawless. It's never going to happen. And all the imperfections from them and from their group of people will manifest at some point.
Right.
That's why we've heard about lots of bad things people have done in the Catholic Church, Pentecostal churches, in Islam, and all those things will always manifest in there because we're not perfect people. It does not mean some people now use that as a justification for someone they don't go to church. I feel that's a crappy reason. That's not a justification for it.
Yes. It's
The
not.
analogy I give to people, we're in Nigeria where sadly lots of things don't work properly, but still, if your loved one, your kid is ill, take them to the hospital. It may not be the best of hospitals, but the options are limited. You won't say you gotta take your chance and gotta start praying. Take them to the hospital.
Yes.
Let them get treatment and all that. So yeah, those things still will reflect in the imperfections in church and in the mosque and all that. It's just for people to be able to speak up to those negative stuff they see from their leaders.
Yes.
I think sometimes that's where there's that struggle. And to be honest, I can understand why. It's almost like we growing up, we saw our parents like demigods sort of as kids and all that. And as adults, you find out your dad or your mom is doing something wrong. You have that struggle trying to correct them because you've always seen them as
Oh yes.
It's going to be tough, I agree.
Oh yes.
You should always find out ways to correct them and not hide or try and cover up those gaps or lapses in them and help them to improve. I think that's one area that we lack stuff here. We see those guys, we try almost like worshiping them as if they are God, but they are human beings really, they are not
True.
God. Let's see that they are not perfect, are not saved because of that. You won't believe in God or you won't go to church because somebody messed up and all that. Christianity is beyond that one individual or
True.
that group of people.
Yes, yes, that's true. But I think there's always an impact it leaves on the person.
Oh yeah.
So it's a struggle and it's a process as well. I've met someone who said someone did something in church and that made him, it just made him stop going to church. But it never stopped him from praying. It never stopped him from reading his Bible. But it just made him start having faith crisis, you know, because it's like seeing this person on this level and this person finally does something that is so unbelievable. You as an individual, you become so disappointed. I didn't want to use the word, was he placing a high expectation? I don't know if the person was like a leader in the church or it was just a regular church goer. I don't know. I never asked. But it did have, whatever that person did, left a huge, let's say, trauma on the person. So he struggled and he wasn't shy to say it. And I'm thankful for those people who actually talk about these things because we live in a society where you talk about, oh, you're having a faith crisis and you don't backslide. I'm like, who do you even think you are? You too, you're having faith crisis, but you don't even know you're having faith crisis, you know? So that's the kind of society we live in. And like you said, we're not perfect. It just takes one thing, you know, to take it, and all the imperfections will just, the flaws will just start coming.
And if going back to the example, if the person had some issues, then you go change your church, or your church has different parishes or whatever. Go to a different one, but don't let the negative impact of one individual or group make you just cut off the whole thing completely. There are other options. That's why I say there are other options.
I like that. There are other options, and thank God for the Bible and the phone, and thank God for those that have the brain to make it digital. So if you can't focus on a physical Bible, you have your digital Bible on your phone. Just download, you know, study Bibles, research. It helps. Lastly, I've been enjoying myself with this whole session. How would you want your friend or friends to share their faith with you, regardless of their denomination?
In a conversation, chit chat, sometimes it doesn't have to be really formal. Like some friends may invite you to come for a program with their church or whatever. That's fine. Sometimes it will not be something that struck. It may just be we are talking, having a conversation. Either just both of you, you and a group of friends. A person brings up something and spins it and just bring in the spiritual angle into it, and we also have a conversation based on that. Many times sometimes maybe we're discussing stuff about our country, Nigeria, and someone spins from the spiritual angle and we start discussing it and all that. That's pretty cool. It doesn't have to always be come for a program in church or in a mosque or anything like that.
Yeah.
Talking about that, it's a close friend of mine. He used to work with me, but he left a couple of years back. He's Catholic. He had a girlfriend that is Muslim. Been together for a long time, but for obvious reasons, both families were against them getting married and all. I think he bit the bullet and damned the consequences afterwards, and 2018 they got married in a mosque. So it was a full-fledged Muslim wedding.
Oh my God.
Me, I'll never do that. Straight up, I know I won't do that, but I gave him 2 thumbs up. I was like, that was bold.
I don't know who you are, but love it. is the audacity for me.
Yeah, that was
Oh, yes.
gold. And the whole stuff was in Kano State. So, came down to Kano, went for this program. That was my first time entering the mosque in my life. I mean, so we entered the mosque because I'm not Muslim. We couldn't enter like the building itself.
Okay.
Only Muslims can actually enter a mosque.
Okay.
So we entered the compound, we're just outside, but we couldn't enter the mosque itself. But we were outside when they started their, was it a Friday? I think it was a Friday when they started their evening prayers. And of all of us that came, we just, so in my office were like 4 of us that came, 2 Muslims, 2 Christians. Incidentally, me and the other Christian guy were both Catholics, but I got there before him. So when they went into the mosque, I was the only one that was outside. I was just outside by the car. I was sitting in the car. When their prayer started, everybody, they stand up, they kneel. I was just confused. I was like, okay, this is weird. I don't think I should be sitting in the car while these guys are praying and all that. So I came out from the car, stood, and I felt so awkward. Because it was obvious I was not Muslim. I was just the only one there. Yes, I saw this my friend come out, and I have a companion. So it was now both of us. We just stood there till they finished their prayers, and all. It was a pretty good experience. I was a little bit scared, but it was a good experience. Yeah.
Why were you scared?
All these thoughts were about anything could happen and all that. What if some people felt offended by me just standing? They feel I'm not showing enough respect and want to take it out on me, and then I'll be missed with because it was just me.
That's on the day.
I was like, this was a crowd of, the whole outside place was filled, probably at least 300 people. Okay, me and my colleague, just 2 of us. The odds were obviously against us, but nothing happened. Thank God that everything went well.
That's understandable. I think this is something that keeps happening all the time. Before we were born, the people before us, and the ones that will still come after us, is this whole what's the word, interreligious marriages.
Yeah.
I feel like if this person, right, is not related to me, bloodline, why shouldn't I go ahead? If this person hasn't done anything morally, religiously, why should my family stop me from getting married to this person? Is this person a good person? Does this person respect me and the next person on the street, the cleaner, I think it goes beyond that, but at the end of the day, I feel like the families always forget that they're not the ones that will come and live with me and this person. And they were not there when we started dating. Obviously, there's something he saw in her or what she saw in this guy that gave them that mindset to say, you know what, we will take this leap of faith from being boyfriend to being fiancés and getting married, So him getting married in the mosque, I think that's a beautiful thing.
Oh, it's bold.
It's bold, yes. But again, this is my personal opinion. There's nothing wrong with it. These are 2 individuals who would grow. You grew up in a Christian home. Your dad was Anglican. Your mom, Catholic. But this time it's just Islam and Christianity. And in the end, I feel like if we all sit down and look at it, yes, there are people that take it to the extreme, and there are actually people who are looking for the truth, right? We can all see that we have something in common, but it takes individual effort to make it work.
Yeah, right. We have a lot in common. 2 things I like to see more in our country is more of one, intertribal marriages, so people from different states getting married and all that, and people from different religious backgrounds getting married. It helps us to appreciate each other's culture better, and when we understand ourselves better, all the atmosphere with ourselves will reduce, because One sad thing that dear country is we have not addressed the issues that led to the first civil war, military coup civil war back then in the 60s and all. We are still facing those same issues. These were how many years after now? 40 years thereabout up till now. And that's why as a country we're not progressing so much. We need to talk about these things, address them, heal from them, make amends, compensate people apologize, but whatever it is, but put some real holistic closure to it so that
Yes.
we can heal and move forward. Because we don't do that. People don't talk about it in open, only in their private conversations, but this is always pop whenever major things come up. Elections come up, and it's always based on religion, where you're from, your tribe.
Yes.
We don't trust ourselves to that point, and it's sad. That's why, as a country, we've not progressed from where we are. There's no excuse why we shouldn't be way better than where we are right now.
Yes.
I went to Rwanda, and one of the things I wanted to do there, I was there for like 3 days. I wanted to go to their genocide. They have this genocide. So you heard of
I've
the
heard of it,
genocide?
yes.
Yeah. I think 94, 96, I can't remember. And they had this whole genocide. Remember, they walk everybody through how they gained independence, the things that led to the fighting, the genocide, and how they healed from it. Everything was fully documented. I mean, this stuff happened when I was in secondary school, so I knew about it and it was mind-boggling. They killed almost 1 million people in less than 3 months. And this was not war where they were dropping bombs. So it was face-to-face combat, going from house to house, using knives, machetes, blunt objects. Few people even had guns.
Oh wow.
People are killing people, neighbors killing neighbors because they are from two different tribes. Hutus versus the Tutsis. And they even like families where one man was one tribe, the other woman was another tribe. The people come, if the woman is their tribe, they'll kill the man and the children in front of the woman. Sometimes leave the woman, sometimes rape her, sometimes kill her. It was really bad stuff. But guess where they are better than Nigeria? They've healed from all that stuff. People that were caught, they sent them to international court, they've been sentenced, they've gotten healed. People, some of them have apologized for the horrible things they did. But the key thing is they've moved on from it.
Yes.
But as our dear country, we've not moved on from our issues. They are still there as a stumbling block to making us progress. That's what makes me sad.
Yeah. I think it goes a long way when we own up and take responsibility for things. And truth be told, we're humans. We don't make it easy for each other.
Yep.
But it takes a conscious effort, to make that change happen.
Yeah.
It might not be the most popular opinion, but as long as somebody comes out to say, think about this, let's look at it from different angles. It's not when everybody is trying to shalaye or somebody is trying to outsmart the other person. I think that's one of the reasons why most people don't talk about these things in the open. They talk about it in the private or when they're on a phone conversation with a friend or a colleague, and they feel more comfortable to talk about this thing. But again, it's all a learning process. And there are people, we go to different countries, we see things, we read, Nigerians are one of the most intelligent people in the world. So we have no reason to say we can't make out time to face all our nonsense, So when we are ready, maybe it's not the generation before us, or maybe it's not even in our own generation, but the generation to come. But sadly, we're now leaving all the baggage for them.
Yeah.
But like I said, it takes a conscious effort, and I'm grateful that there are people like you that travel, that see these things, that talk about it, and in your own little way to shed light on these things. It goes a long way. Most people will be like, why not come and talk about it? Oh, you're not on social media. there's life beyond social media,
Yes.
right? And we just need to find ways to be gentle with each other. We shouldn't be the one, like, we shouldn't be killing ourselves. Like, we're one, but for some weird reason, it's always been happening, even in our forefathers' time.
Yeah.
So, on that note, I want to say thank you very much for honoring this invitation
Thank you.
and spending time with me and my YouTube community. Remember, kindness is never enough. Put a smile on someone's face. Please, Musman, sign out for us.
Alright, they should call him Musman.
Yes, that's not his government name,
It's not.
but maybe in another invite, he will tell us how we go.
I was about to say that thank God that was not one of the questions he asked, but nobody knows
Yes,
the origin around that name.
but yes, please sign out for us.
This is Musman, aka Chinedu. Thanks for inviting me out here. It's been wonderful. Hope you invite me sometime in the future.
Yes.
Nice talking with you. Over now. Bye.